Order, it's a special meeting. The only item on the agenda this evening is a discussion of the possible expansion of the shed at the firehouse. As we started last month, the Board of Selectmen was just looking for some direction as to whether it'd be feasible to expand the shed in order to move fire department items from the old firehouse to someplace else on the fire department property across the street. We did a site visit last Saturday. I don't know, I just curious with everybody's reaction to the, to the proposal. I don't know, Barry, do you want to start? You want me to?
Yeah, I just made a few notes
Sure.
here. Yeah. Okay. As a longtime Woodbridge resident, I recognize the expertise and dedication of the Woodbridge Fire Department and depend on them to know what equipment facilities they require to operate the professional fire department that we have here in Woodbridge. Accordingly, I would look favorably on the proposed footprint expansion, subject to submission of finely tuned detailed plans to this agency with the provision that in any future permit be written to mitigate and ameliorate the impact on the adjacent wetlands.
Yeah. Jack, do you have any thoughts?
My only comment is I think the simplest way to do it is just extend it straight out. It's no angles or no nothing, just double the size of it effectively straight out. At least from what I saw, it looked like that portion of the wetlands there certainly would be a minimal impact. It looked like the drainage was draining away, even though it would be filled. So there'll have to be a retention wall of some sort built in there. The only thing that I would add to it is, which has nothing to do with the shed, is perhaps a better containment for the refuse that we see in the dumpster there to reduce the amount of invasion of the wildlife, and also on a regular basis pick up the stuff that gets disturbed into the wetlands, so it stays as clean as it can.
Yeah, just to go on with that, just so we know, we didn't even know how bad.
Sean, do you want to just come on up and so they can hear you for the TV?
We just didn't even know how bad it was until the town came in and cleared that section out so we could take a look at it. We had a raccoon problem, pretty bad one this year. We actually hired a trapper and they took out 6 raccoons, so they were going into the trash. Now the dumpster's locked. Not only the gate is locked, but the actual dumpster itself to try to mitigate that issue. So once it gets a little warmer, we'll get our people in there to clean it up.
I have a question. Now, what are you going to do as far as mechanicals, and how are you going to get? Are you going to use that the big propane tank, or are you going to run the gas?
That's going away.
You have to run the gas.
We have natural gas at the building, which we brought in probably 5-6 years ago.
Yeah.
And there's already a pipe underground running out there, so it's going to be natural gas, whatever we do for heat.
Okay, so there's no big additional
No.
excavation or anything?
Nope.
Okay.
It's all, the electrical's underground, the piping's already underground for natural gas. And
The only other thing, you have to move the one light fixture,
yes.
and that'll get moved somewhere.
Yeah,
Or
we'll
removed.
figure it out, because what I'm almost thinking is if we extend it straight like we talked about, maybe I think we could just get away with maybe a light on the building just shining down onto the parking lot, so we don't need a
And
light
that would
pole
even
up in
be
the air.
better, because
Yep.
then it wouldn't go back into.
Right.
Yeah, just a couple of thoughts from conceptually, I don't really have a problem with it. The area that the expansion's going into, that is wetlands, is fairly insignificant compared to the entire site. The only thing is, when I'm looking at this map, though, it looks as if it's 132 feet from the existing the existing slab to the property line, and I thought we had to deal with a 100-foot setback off the cornfield for the walking trail. So you may want to just double check those measurements as far as whether there's enough room to go out all the way, another 40, 45 feet.
Yep.
And The only other thing too is I didn't have a chance, even though I thought about it, didn't have a chance to check that stipulation from the court that we had when we settled the last matter, whether we have to, I kind of thought there was some provision there that talked about no further encroachment or something like that, so we may have to deal with that in some fashion.
Okay.
But that we could deal with once you come up with an application with a specific plan.
Yeah, I think.
I don't think any of those are.
Yeah, I think right now what the town's looking to do is see if it's feasible on your side before they spend any money on architectural or soil testing fees or anything like that. So if you're receptive to the whole idea and you think it'd be okay to take it to the next step and you think it's feasible on this board, then I think they'll take it to the next step on trying to create something and come back with an application to you guys.
Okay.
We just don't, and I understand what they're trying to do, they just don't wanna invest in something where if it's definitely a no-go, then they have to go another route.
Yeah, from my end, subject to an appropriate, application, I certainly think it would be feasible, to do the extension as you, at least described in, these drawings here. And, I did think there was a lot of garbage out there that probably should be, cleaned up and whatnot. And then also, I do agree with Bob that we need to make sure that we comply with any stipulations from, the other matter, with regard to.
Do you
any
guys wanna look
requirements.
into that, and you wanna let me know?
Yeah, or we'll have Jerry look at it. I think I have a copy of it back at the office.
Yeah.
I just didn't have a chance to
Yeah.
look at it. I thought of it yesterday
Yep.
again and didn't have a chance. And the other thing, when you do come in with a plan, it'd be pretty easy just to make everyone happy to the extent that you're filling a portion of wetlands here, just to create a wetland a little further toward the cornfield. So you could expand that a little bit, so to replace what's being taken, and, that may be one way just to balance everything out when you come
Okay.
in with a final application.
Yeah.
But that's easy enough to do, because it's just moving a little bit of dirt and,
We could put some more we could put some trees in,
Yeah.
do whatever.
we could work out those
Yeah.
details when we get closer, but,
Yep.
but I guess, for what you came in to find out, the consensus is that it's doable, so.
Okay,
Okay,
that's basically what we're looking for.
okay,
All right,
all right, thanks, Sean.
thank you.
All right, since we have a special meeting, we can't talk about anything else. Do we have a motion to adjourn?
Oh, motion to
Jack
adjourn.
moved, Barry
I'll
seconded,
second it, yeah.
all in favor? Aye, opposed, abstention, we're done, it's 8:39, 7:39, sorry, yeah.